I would like to give you a brief overview of myself, my background. I'm the Director of Customer Success at ChartMogul. It's a subscription analytics company in Berlin. And at this role, I'm responsible for onboarding, customer support, account management, some inside sales and education. And as part of our mission of ChartMogul is to help subscription businesses measure, understand, and grow their recurring revenue. Like I talk to top management and also to founders every day to learn about their analytics needs. So this here is part of our team. We're just heading towards a Series A, and we're 20 people now. These are the most people we were ever able to round up in one place because we have a lot of remote team members. Our team, they hail from a lot of different places, from Germany, Australia, England, Korea, Belarus, Canada, Brazil, India. Sure, forgetting a country there. Well, before I started working at ChartMogul, I had the opportunity to be one of the early members of the Zendesk team. As part of this mission, being part of Zendesk, we grew the company towards a successful IPO in 2014. And it was really exciting to be part of this journey, to see the different stages of growth that a company goes through to achieve such an exit. Well, during my time working in SaaS, I learned that the true value of a subscription business is realized through building relationships with your customers, having strong long-term relationships. And the true value then comes over long periods of time, over many months or years. And if you are able to manage these relationships successfully, you can then retain a lot of revenue. You can grow your revenue. You can have a predictable and stable revenue growth. And as Ragnar mentioned, keeping on top of your KPIs in forms of measuring your metrics, and but also gaining insights from them, getting into the analytics part, it can help you with that. But of course, you need a great product as well to achieve that, a great product with a great market fit and a talented team also. So let's look at what is it, tracking metrics, what are insights. Once you start tracking your subscription metrics, you start building in your business a data-driven culture. This then allows you to start answering questions, and it's easier now than it used to be to track your metrics. We still talk to a lot of business owners that are very deep in CSV files, that are building very complex tables every month, spending hours and hours to get their metrics. But now there are a lot of solutions such as ChartMogul and other SaaS businesses that allow you to track those subscription metrics in real time and get your data in from your billing platform or via an API from your internal subscription billing system. But then you have your metrics, but how do you answer questions? This is where you have to move to a point to get analytics to gain those actionable insights that actually help you to grow your recurring revenue. I'd like to quickly define, before we go deeper into the subject, the difference between metrics and analytics. So metrics, they allow you to measure, build reports. You know, for example, what is your MRR at a given time. You can track your customers, your churn numbers. It's very informative, and it helps you to organize your data. And on the other hand, you have analytics. This helps you to explore your data, you gain insights that are actionable and inform decision making. For example, you could look at a plan, one of your plans, and then see how many months down the line like do customers churn most frequently, a particular month perhaps. And then you can analyze this by asking questions to those customers and find out why this is happening and then take action based on this. This is where data can inform your decision making. When you add attributes to your customers, then you can do deep segmentation. Like those attributes, they can be in a variety of platforms. They can be in your sales CRM. They can be come from your marketing platform. They can come from something like Intercom, where you have your user behavior. Any attributes that you can add to your customers that allow you to do deep segmentation help you to drive the process of answering those questions. This is not an exhaustive list, but this is a good starting point of some attributes that you can add to your customers. Now, this allows you then to see like what revenue is associated with a particular plan or product. You can look at what region someone comes from. When you know the geodata, you can look at a region or even a city and make decisions based on that. You can look at what sales representatives is associated with a particular sale and particular revenue. So you can see how that revenue performs over time. Like what is the lifetime value of a salesperson? How good are the deals they're closing? You can look at the lead source to really see where your customers are coming from when they buy your product. This is very informative for the marketing team. You can look at the industry to see what vertical is that particular revenue coming from. And Ragnar mentioned this NPS score, tracking the customer sentiment and seeing what revenue is associated with your happy customers and with your unhappy customers. We found when talking to a lot of companies over several years that the best way really to like structure your data is to do your analysis by team. So for a SaaS business, this could be looking at the data by management team, by marketing team, by sales team, customer success, and finance team, because really every team, they have their own set of specific questions that they need to answer. Well, this is structures this a little bit. It will make a bit more sense when we look at the specific case studies. But here you can see what kind of metrics are useful to segment by team. So the management team, Ragnar mentioned this, very important to track your customer numbers, your churn, your like revenue growth, ARPAs, average revenue per account. It also kind of ties in with the last talk about pricing, driving up average revenue per account, the average sales price. Then marketing, looking at the like lead volume, cost of acquisition, the lifetime value. For sales, we can look at the new business MR and our conversion rates, segment there, and customer success, looking at retention and the upsell opportunities. And finance, revenue, cash flow, and cost. Today, I'll just be talking about management, marketing, sales, and customer success. And let's start with marketing. Well, marketing, it can benefit from segmentation by looking at the different efforts of the marketing team and see how they're paying off. So, for example, like you could look at the MR by lead source to see which channel is the best performing channel, where you're really getting the highest amount of customers. And then you can go even deeper and you can do an ROI analysis, return of investment, and see where is the cost the most effective to get those customers. You can look at impact of particular initiatives. For example, if your marketing team did a revamp of your help center, which is a great way to also attract customers because you're sharing knowledge through which your customers can find you through SEO, search engine optimization. And then you could track over time how this initiative pays off to bring leads and paying customers to you. This is a screenshot here that shows how this could look like when you're comparing your revenue that you're attracting by marketing channel. Here we're having a Twitter, Facebook, Google advertisement, retargeting ads, and banner ads. And we can see here that the banner ads are outperforming the other marketing channels. Of course, next we would probably look at the cost benefit there and then make decisions based on that. The sales team, it can benefit from segmentation by looking at the revenue that is brought in, the new MRR every month by different people on the team. You can look at the trial volume when you start tracking your customers, where you can see the different statuses when a customer is in the trial state, when they are converting to a paid state. If you can track this, you know how much time it takes. You can see the volume of leads that you get. You can see the trial to paid conversion rates. And then we can also look at the performance of each representative. How much MRR they're generating. Is that salesperson really performing well or not? And you can also look at sales by industry vertical. Now we found when we started using segmentation for our own customers, we saw that ChartMogul performed much better in certain verticals. So we could double down on marketing efforts for those verticals. For example, we saw that ChartMogul is doing very well in streaming, and those were also customers that had very high retention, so they would hardly ever cancel their accounts. So this was, once we found this out, we could then go to a conference particular to streaming. We could really market and target specifically to that vertical. You can see in the next slide here, this divided up by sales reps. So I can see what MRR is associated with each salesperson. And then this allows me then to see Jose, he's the lowest performer on the end. I can see that Jane is outperforming everyone. If I would have to cut one person at the team, it's an obvious choice. Of course, sometimes you want to look at also the LTV number. What is the lifetime value of those deals to see are they good quality deals or are they just quickly closed and then churn because the true value of the product hasn't been demonstrated during the sales cycle. The management team, it can benefit from segmentation by looking at big picture things and also answering operational questions. So I showed you earlier you can add your geodata, and that would then allow you to make projections for a region, for example. Let's say you want to see what your budget is for the EMEA region of for hiring. So you can look at your forecast based on the MRR for that region and then decide about your hiring budget. You could look at the impact of a new feature. So if you're releasing something which you think will drive up the average sales price of your product, you can then segment by that. You can look at ups and retention rates so you can see how good are your account managers to retain revenue. This is, shows one example of a particular company where there was a new feature introduced to one of their plans, and they were thinking that this will allow them to go up market with this plan to sell to larger companies. And the feature was released in February. This is kind of cut off like at the bottom the times. So sorry about that, but the low point there is in February, and then it keeps going up towards this is June. So it was I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but I think it was like increase from maybe around $400 average sales price to like $650 or something like this. So it clearly like worked out over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You had a major increase. So this hypothesis was like proven with the data we had here. The customer success team, this is my domain. So here you can look at retention, and you can see how you're successful at like closing the consumption gap, where you have a top line where the features, everything that you have, and you have a bottom line of what the user can do, and you're trying to bring it closer together so that they maximize their potential. And retention is really what measures this. So looking at retention rate by industry or vertical allows you to answer the questions there. Like we found one of our verticals too, from a customer success perspective, we had really low retention rates, and we just, after looking into it further, we just found it's a very bad fit for ChartMogul, which was VPN businesses. They were churning fairly quickly. They always churned after a specific amount of time, but it was just not a good fit. So we didn't continue like really marketing towards that vertical after we learned that. You can look at the impact of outreach to NPS detractors. So like especially when you are still an early startup, you have the luxury of really engaging your customers and talking to them individually to really drive product market fit. And NPS is really fantastic for that because you get instant feedback, and you see then through the question that you ask with the score, what is the problem there? And then you can do an outreach to those customers, you can make changes in the product. And we found by doing this, we were like able to really increase the retention of our high value customers. I look in every NPS survey, which are the biggest accounts, what are their problems, and how can I solve them? And often there are ways and workarounds, even if we don't have exactly what they need, but I often can drive solutions. We can look at changes on onboarding, flow impact to trial to paid conversion rates. Well, here, this is just from one of my demo accounts, but you can see the attribution towards detractor, promoter, and passive. These are like the three groups by score for NPS. So you can see what revenue is associated with each of this group, and then you can take action based on that. Look, it's very important now that we looked at a bunch of case studies and what you can do to have a follow-up process, to define clear goals and strategies where you look at what are the questions you want to answer, what are the problems that you have, and then based on that, you have an analytics strategy. You set up a schedule so that you monitor your data in regular intervals. Or especially when you don't have so many data sets, like looking at your data in very small intervals is not that useful because you don't have enough samples. But if you leave a bit of time in between, you stay consistent with the way you measure so that you can really understand what is happening. We found that communicating the results to your team is very useful. It fosters a culture of transparency. We share with our team all the metrics of our business. So it really shows then the team also collectively how decisions that we're making are having a positive or negative impact. So especially in a small company, it is a bit easier to have everyone feel connected to the success or failure of the company, and making your metrics transparent helps with this. Adjust your strategy, review after a bit of time to see are you succeeding, using analytics in a way to grow your recurring revenue or not, what you need to do to change this. And what really helps is to talk to your peers. If you're like a founder or like a success manager or a sales director, you can talk to others who are further along, see what metrics are they tracking, what analysis are they looking for, and this is very useful. So the key takeaways is to like really move to a data-driven culture in your business from early on, and to move from simply measuring to like gaining insights and understanding how you can get those insights. A good way to like start is to have segmentation data added to your customers in your subscription system, and to approach segmentation by team so that you can make it really specific. Have a strong follow-up process so that you can sit back and reflect and improve to grow your recurring revenue to become a large business. So thank you for listening. You can reach me via my Twitter account, Zahorsky, or my email address, ingmar@chartmogul.com. We have like a number of SaaS metrics cheat sheets that I can email to you for different metrics that you can like use as a starting point, which are fairly general and apply to all kinds of like systems, not just our own. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Ingmar.